to another episode of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. It is I, your host of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast and purveyor of all things dorky within the scope of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. I am Grumm. Hello. It is it's pretty good. Sorry, this is a little later on Patreon. However, if you're listening to this, it went on the live feed. You got it just on time. Don't worry about it. Hey, speaking of Patreon, support.grumm.tv is the Patreon. Just put up today, when I'm recording this, the same day this is going up on the Patreon. There is at the Llama Club Elite tier from episode 10, the Hog Pen match. Dan, Morris, and Soapy from the Morse Code podcast. We have that. It's a fun little 16 minute long match. A lot of fun. The match itself is ridiculous. That's that. We are joyous 5th / whatever day. Joyous Grumm is to you and yours. We are in the thick of it here on the Dork Side of the Ring. We're over at grumm.tv doing a lot of fun. This comes out the week of the 15th. The 13th, right? So we're about a week, 10 days away from Grummus itself. It is going to be a fun 12-hour stream over on my Twitch channel, grumm.tv. You're more than welcome to join me throughout the day. I'll be probably just relaxing, playing some games, but I do have a fun Christmas special Grand Theft Auto roleplay thing that we're doing, How Muffins Stole Christmas. It's going to be a lot of fun. The most important thing you need to do is just continue to follow and support me and the podcast. I am on Twitter and Instagram at I am Grumm. The podcast is at Dorkside Ring on Twitter and Instagram as well. This week we have two friends, somebody else joining Jim Jam as a technical third time appearance or second time appearance ever in OXO, and his podcasting partner in from This Is Cash, Youngist, who is also the podcasting partner of Lee, who you heard on the music episode with Squid. Youngist also is a part of Running Back the Hits, which apparently I might be on, waiting for something to get approved. They're checking, making sure. It's a lot of fun. It'll be good. Hopefully. I don't know yet. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to put that out there, and hopefully the universe shall will it to be. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Either way, one of my favorite music podcasts. There's a couple of them that I actually listen to. Running Back the Hate is always a good one. I enjoy. They grab the friends, talk music. The thing is, they know that if I'm on there, all I'm doing is talking about Silk Sonic, which is not entirely true. But Christmas music, that is maybe. Look, I've been listening to nothing but Christmas music the last week, and it has been glorious. A lot of fun. But a different type of music this week. We have Kurt Angle and John Cena doing rap battles within about the same year. So a little story here. I remembered the Goofy one. Right? I remember the one in 2002. I think they're both in 2002. But I remember the GIF where it's Kurt Angle in his jumpsuit and he's got his head. He takes John Cena's hat, wears it backwards, all that stuff. It's very funny, right? Then there's a more serious one. Well, I mixed up the date of the Goofy one, so I ended up watching both the series and the Goofy one. So that'll be good. We ended up talking a little bit about movies because their podcast, This Is Cash, is about a movie, and they watch a movie and they decide, was this cash or not? Is it good? They've done a couple. Mainly, it's similar to Dork Side of the Ring, where it's, hey, we're gonna get somebody on, and we're gonna watch a movie that we may have not watched, right? And we see, hey, was that movie good? Did you like that movie? So if you like the concept that we have here, This Is Cash is the movie equivalent, but those guys are better at it than I am. I will say that. It's a lot of fun. The ultimate thing that you need to understand about today's episode is that it is a goofy episode. There is the concept is two wrestlers rap battling. So we get to talk a little bit about like 8 Mile, and we talk about battle rapping in general, especially between movie like, I don't know, wrestlers in movies and whatnot. That's the other thing. We talk about a lot of wrestlers in movies and Vince McMahon as well. So it's a lot of fun. So this episode's will get under the way. Myself, OXO, Youngist, the duo from This Is Cash. We're talking Kurt Angle battle raps with John Cena here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. Starting now.
Not really. I've listened to a few episodes, so I kind of know how this goes.
All right, that's good. That's good. Oh, so a vet, one of the few vets. It's him and Jim Jam.
Oh, that's like come with somewhat of an idea.
So, well, yeah, because OXO and Jim Jam were on
We were the first.
Yeah, they were the first. So I did one. So asked Tyler if I can get a segment around the same time that like Scuba and Kane were doing the Splash Bros stuff at first. I asked if I basically pitched it to Tyler. I said, "Hey, I know you're watching Dark Side of the Ring. Big into this stuff." I said, "What? Like I've we've been talking about it in the Cord, and given that I'm a walking wrestling encyclopedia 9 times out of 10, I know a lot of dorkier stuff, a lot of goofier stuff that is lighter. Do you think, like, it'd be cool if I could do, like, a 10 to 15-minute segment on the Fun Report with a CPF or two, showing them a stuff, and then we talk about it?"
First one, right?
And then Jim Jam was on the very first one, because we talked about James Brown at Super Brawl 2000. And then OXO was the second one where we did the Firefly Funhouse match, which OXO uses to ask me about current day wrestlers. Like, yo, is this wrestler still, like, Randy Orton still wrestling? I'm like, yeah, he just set somebody on fire. He goes, he's sick. I'm like, he actually just RKO'd, this before, I think, I was like, yeah, he RKO'd 2 women this year.
Gold.
It's like he's going to hell. I'm like, well, his character is going to hell, at the very least. But
that's all on Vince McMahon.
Exactly.
Exactly. Vince McMahon gives him the playground to be this person. That's not his fault. It's Vince McMahon's fault, bro.
Yeah, Vince McMahon writes it. He says, "Hey, you know what? Go out and RKO."
Same way Adam Silver and whichever NBA commissioner was before, I forget his name. Let Robert Sarver, live his life. I mean, they know. They just say, "Hey,
are we recording or are we just?"
Yes, we are. We absolutely
recording,
we are.
bro.
Oh, we're in.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been recording.
So,
you are all your technical difficulties are now on display. Yes,
they are. But I'm gonna obviously edit out to where it gets to a point where it's a natural conversation. But the people will know that you had technical difficulty, but they won't know exactly what they were. But they'll wonder what they were.
Yeah. So I got a big 404 error, just like
nice
tattooed on my forehead. Now that's what happened.
But yeah, so we're here on the Dork Side of the Ring. We have from This Is Cash, podcast about movies. We're
on hiatus. We're on hiatus at this moment in time.
We are on hiatus.
Yeah, but
coming back soon.
You can still go back and listen to them.
Mm-hmm. We've got 9 episodes.
9 episodes. That's 9 hours or so of at minimum.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got OXO and Youngist. We've had Youngist's other podcast co-host Leon here from Running Back the Hits, not the classic, but Running Back the Hits. Gentlemen, hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having me on, Grumm. Honestly, gotta say, you, out of like all the smaller podcasts I've listened to, I know this one is eventually gonna get bigger because you're like terrific at this like talking thing, especially like by yourself.
Yeah,
which is extremely
that's the hard part, bro. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, man, excited to be a part of something that's definitely gonna make it.
You're here on the ground level, and when we're big, I'm bringing it all. So I'm being like, look, when I get that big platform, that big stage, I'll be like, look, those This Is Cash boys, you get in now, get in now, But yeah, Youngist OXO. Glad to have you guys here. It is.
Can we wait. I just want to say 2 things.
Yeah.
A, I'm going to use the bathroom after I say the second thing.
Okay.
B, Yeah, back to piggyback off what Youngest said. Piggyback. um, yeah, it was a very. I thought about doing like a podcast like solo without Youngest for a few weeks, and I thought about it. And I was like, I don't got the energy for this, bro, and I don't care to do the whole guest thing by myself. Me and again, no, I can't do it. I'm not. You way tougher than me. You way tougher than me. All right,
Appreciate that.
and that's that.
Go ahead.
You and Youngest can do your discussion.
Yeah.
right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Wash your hands. Do all that stuff. But no.
You
So
think he's gonna wash his hands?
I hope so.
while
I
he's
hope
washed?
so. I hope so. I mean, we'll ask him, and he'll lie to us, or he'll tell us the truth. And because no matter what he says, he's gonna say, "Of course I did." I'd be shocked if he tells me that. If he's just like, "Yeah, nah, I did not wash my hands." Fuck. Why would I wash my? I would be surprised. OXO is a cleanly man. But no, yeah, I like. I do appreciate that because the like it is tough to, and I do find myself when I listen back to be like, wow, I'm really just eating up the air. But like as a host, sometimes you got to eat up the air. Sometimes you just let the conversations just go, and you're like, wow, I didn't talk that much. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it all
like,
depends on your guests too. When you have
Mhm.
guests that are like me right now, that's interrupting you, mid sentence, you can kind of just let me rock. But
look,
when you got guests that are a little more shy, then you can eat up
Mhm.
some airtime, and you're good at both. It's impressive.
I tell people this all the time. Cut me off. Like I will 100%. I mean, I stream, and sometimes you just got to talk. I went to school for broadcasting. Part of that broadcasting included like a 2-week course in like hosting a talk radio show, to which naturally I picked sports. And it's like, all right, well, you and a partner have to do back and forth stuff, and then like they were sick, so they missed a week, so I had to do our like assignments that week like by myself, and I'm like, well, time to talk for half an hour by myself and just come up with these thoughts and just keep going and try to get them back. Must have been a good one. But yeah, it's just like one of those things of like it's a talent to do. Like it made me appreciate a guy like Colin Coward, who used to just do this for fucking hours. Like
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith too. Like, how can you have this much fucking opinions and words to back up those opinions when
They
you're
move from topic to topic, just like kind of effortlessly without like really thinking about it. Yeah, it's impressive.
It's very
What are we
impressive.
What are we
We
talking about?
were talking about your guys' compliments of me of being a good host, and
Yeah.
relating it to like guys like Colin Coward and Stephen A. who just naturally are able to talk by themselves for hours every day of the
Colin
week.
Coward does it for like
I am.
6 hours, bro. 6 hours.
Yeah.
Stephen A. only does it for like 2, which is fine. But he has like his guests on first take. Colin really is an impressive person because he'll just do the TV show, then the radio show, and then he'll do another hour after that.
Yeah.
That's sick. Ugh.
30, think about it. That's like 30 to 35 hours a week of just talking.
Rambling, bro. Rambling.
And like
That's why I
maybe
don't believe he does any prep.
dude, you can't. You can't.
Off the top of
I'll
the-
like I do the minimal amount of prep when I do this. I figure out when the show was. I just like date wise, I tend to remember the context of which, and if I don't remember the context of which, I bullshit it anyways. And then like I might think of a question or two to guide the conversation after like what we talk about today, which is naturally how the conversations work, which is, hey, here's one question, and then we'll just ramble. Oh, we're done this topic? All right, let me go to the second question I had. Oh, it's been 2 hours, and we didn't even talk about one of the, like I just did an episode with X and Neezus, and we were talking about Shawn Michaels' coke addiction and how he used to fuck Sonny for like 7 times a day, and have his buddy stand outside of a door and tell Sonny's boyfriend or ex-lover or whatever that he had not seen her and she was not inside the room, that she was getting her cheek clapped in like for an hour and a half. Like it was and I'm like, wow, we didn't talk about the thing at all. That's amazing. Like I think that's the first thing that's ever happened. But yeah, we got OXO Youngist here. I think this is the longest preamble before the actual introductions here. We do this alphabetically. OXO, my friend, tell the people a little bit about yourself, where they can find you if you want to be found on the social medias and anything that is near and dear to your heart.
Is Kurt Angle in this SmackDown?
Yes.
Oh, this is perfect. I
Yes.
only say, it's funny. I pulled in the gym today. I strained my right trap, so I came home immediately. I pop in like Tylenol and ibuprofen so I'm on my Kurt Angle, 60 bikes a day. The peak of my addiction, bro, going crazy.
But so to answer the question that I asked OXO, you can find him in the medical the pharmacy aisle of your local drugstore.
Perked up. But no. You can follow us on This Is Cash. You can follow me on Twitter at Ollie's Moods, OLLIESMOODS, and on Instagram OLVOXO. Yeah, that's it really. It's a lot of shit posting. It's a lot of me putting up my videos of me working out. And it's a lot of me playing Fortnite clips on these things. So you've been warned.
Ooh, been warned.
That's it.
Expert marksman. I've seen him. Youngist, what about you? Where can the people find you on the interwebs and such, and any causes or whatnot that is close to your heart?
As OXO mentioned, you can find me on the This Is Cash page on Twitter. We are on like a little bit of a hiatus now, but the show's gonna come back eventually. I am also doing a music pod, which is also kind of on hiatus, but I think that's coming back sooner rather than later. Called Running Back the Hits. You can find that anywhere you find podcasts. It's also on Twitter at Run Back the Hits, and then my personal Twitter account is at Youngist. I don't do shit on there besides tweet about the Milwaukee Bucks, your NBA champions, and some Succession shit.
They will repeat. They will repeat. Let these young niggas know. Let these young niggas know.
I disagree. However, I'm riding the high of a very fun to watch half-court offense for the first time in about 5 years. So, actually more than that.
Yeah, Sixers look good, man. Sixers look good.
They're beating up on bad teams, but that Chicago game was a lot of fun. But yeah, This Is Cash. I enjoy it. My favorite episode is probably the Friday episode. So before we go in too much into the Dork side, what is This Is Cash?
Oh man, so we're really just like
actually
pod.
Me and Youngest, we both admit and acknowledge the fact that we are not what's the word I'm looking for? Well-versed critics, because there's only so much we know about movies and stuff. Youngest knows more because Youngest has done more film classes and stuff. Me, just like I guess one of these sports analysts on ESPN or FS1, I don't do any prep when it's time to discuss a movie. I just go up in there, just say, yo, this is how I feel about the movie, and Youngest, tries to steer the line, keep us in the right direction so we finish the whole discussion. We like having guests. We also don't, we don't mind just it being just us chatting, and talking shit about movies.
I would say our like elevator pitches. I know Grumm really mentioned the Friday episode, which we both love Friday, and that was a lot of fun. But our main focus for the most part is we mostly do movies that you can't really find other podcasts on. You look up Friday or you look up Pulp Fiction or Godfather, you're gonna find like 900 podcasts on these things. But
everyone's had episode.
Yeah, we try to do a little bit more obscure movies, some foreign movies, that kind of thing, and kind of introduce some people to newer stuff or different stuff that they normally won't hear people discussing.
Yeah, I think the Friday one is just fun because it's Friday. I have the background. I know the movie you talk about. Whereas, like, some of them are like, I think Suze was on and she had like a very
La Hen.
Yeah,
La Hen. You say correctly. La Hen.
And I'm like, huh? Excuse me? God bless you?
The movie's a banger.
So it's like, all right, you listen to it and you're like, all right, this is going on my list of movies to watch because 3 people I trust their opinion on enjoy this movie. So, exactly. I'll go watch it. But so check out This Is Cash on Twitter. Spotify, and maybe it's on. Is it? I think it's on Apple Podcasts as well, right?
We need to fix that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
If you
We
need,
got an
if
RFM feed. Don't worry.
just
we got
just DM us if you need help with that, bro. Just DM us.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
And then Youngist is also co-host of Running Back the Hits, which we've had Lee on. Just a reminder, they just go back and listen to music. It's a music podcast. So if you like music, those two are fun listens to.
Number one hip hop podcast.
So we've had today a fun episode of Dork Side ahead of ourselves because we have you two here, and we're talking a little bit about wrestling. We go in inverse of alphabetical when I ask this question, so we'll start with you, Youngist. Youngist, what's your background in professional wrestling?
Ooh, boy. So wrestling, I was like a huge fan when I was like in 4th to 6th grade, which was about like 08 to like 2010-ish.
Same time as me. Look at this guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't have cable growing up, so I could only watch SmackDown. So watched a lot of SmackDown on Friday nights because I'm a kid and I don't really have anywhere to go. Then as I got older, obviously, I started going out on Friday nights more, so I wasn't watching SmackDown as much. So I kind of drifted away from wrestling itself. And I would say my junior and senior year of high school, randomly, there was like a wave that went through between my friends and like other kids I went to school with that were like starting to reminisce about wrestling. And we started like get into it a little more, started watching pay-per-views together and stuff. So I got back into it, and now I'm kind of at a point where I just watch like WrestleMania every year. I'm not really on the weekly shows or anything, but yeah, wrestling like at one point was my favorite sport. Like basketball's always been there, but wrestling was something like every Friday night I gotta sit down, gotta watch SmackDown. It was something I was really into, kind of drifted away, and trying to find my way back. Like, I don't know if I can do the like weekly stuff. Like, I don't know if I can do Monday night and Friday night, but I've caught a few Royal Rumbles and stuff with Grumm, streaming on here and like watching stuff like that.
Oh, so what about you? What's your? I know this from our previous.
Niggas know my bop, man.
What's your relationship with the Graps?
Niggas know my bop, man. When it comes to wrestling, Grumm had to correct me last time I was on to not use the word fake. Wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is very well scripted and designed to entertain us all. And every sport since having watched how wrestling has blown up has tried to orchestrate similar things in scripting and marketing. And I was gonna say, in the same time as Youngest, I was in love with wrestling. I was just in love with violence. Keep it a buck with you. Physical violence when I was going from fifth grade to ninth grade. I just whatever involved violence I was with. So wrestling put me onto UFC put me onto boxing, and I would just try to circle between all three. My favorite wrestlers. I used to hate Randy Orton, like I said in the last episode, but now I see what his character was for. I'm just amazed because Vince McMahon really is the true marketing genius of America. No one will ever do it as good as him because he had us all watching the most toned and chiseled people beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, and it's just modern. It's modern Shakespeare and Roman gladiator battles. It is a very interesting hybrid of the two, and I will forever love it because of that. Because it's like this weird primal, like, yeah, watch this, yeah, drop him on his head. It's like, yeah, but they're doing it safely. I was begging
people to get hit for a chair, bro. I was begging people to get hit for a chair.
You're like
steps. I was like, hit him, kill him.
You're like the lady in Shrek at when they're like, yeah, take the chair, hit him with the chair. When Shrek's just beating everybody's ass at the Farquhar Stadium, wherever the hell it is.
Begging for it, bro.
Who amongst us has not begged for violence at some point in our life?
America.
Yeah. So today is I talked about it a little bit. Today's a fun one. There's not much violence. I shouldn't say that. There is violence, but not not entirely physical violence.
It's not gratuitous.
It's not gratuitous. No. It is. It's very like I said, limited physical violence. However, there will be murder in these streets, and you'll see when I get to it. But before I do that, I do want to ask you guys, what are your guys' thoughts? Since you are the movie guys, what are you guys' thoughts on the movie 8 Mile?
Like, in all seriousness, like, I'm not the biggest Eminem fan. 8 Mile, just in general, and like the way it's constructed and like narratively and how it flows, it's impressive.
It's well designed. It's well designed for what it had to do.
Yeah, it keeps you entertained the whole way through. I got excited for a little bit. I thought you were gonna ask me about 12 rounds. I was like,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's after everything.
12 rounds. What's 12 rounds about?
12
John Cena, baby.
Boy.
Yes,
boy.
I've seen that movie. That movie banged.
Well, it was not the Marine, but 12 rounds is the one where like he's got to go through 12 rounds to save the. Yeah, okay, all right, making sure. Yeah, the Marine's still the greatest WWE, but we'll get to that afterwards because that's definitely these are definitely on my list of things we to talk about if we need to. But all right, so 8 Mile. I like 8 Mile. I think my favorite part about 8 Mile is indeed what is intended to be the final battle where he just goes, I'm going to say everything you're going to say about me. And I don't give a hell. I don't give a fuck. Like you can't clown me more than I can clown myself. Good luck though.
I'm dissing that. But you are also dissing that. So what now?
Yeah. And it's just like you said, it's very well crafted because it sells you on the whole idea of like, hey, this is Eminem's life story in a sense, and very much inspired.
The idea that this rap battle matters. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a rap battle, but the way it builds up and the hype and stuff, like you said, when you get to that moment, it's a lot of fun. Like you get into it at that point.
Look, that movie had me screaming, "Fuck the free world 313," and not understanding any of it. Like I'd be at
school. Detroit area code. Bro, never been to Michigan, bro.
Didn't even know it. Never been in Michigan. But I said, "Fuck free world 313." And also, it made me, for the longest time, and I still do it from time to time, but the middle finger and the thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that, I don't know why I thought that was...
Cooler. You thought it was cool. It's cooler than regular.
It was revolutionary.
It really was.
Like, there's another way to tell someone to fuck off.
Also, incredibly dirty-ass sex scene where they're having sex in a factory.
I forgot about that one. That's nasty.
Bro, they fucked a lot in the movie.
They did.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yo, Youngist, me and you, we talk about this, man. We talk about it all the time.
People don't fucking movie.
Hollywood is fucking. No, seriously, think about it, bro.
No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right.
2015. How many sex scenes have you seen in a movie? It's relatively small. Movies before, you had a sex scene in every movie, guaranteed at least one.
They're fucking like crazy in 8 Mile.
Yeah, they're like not Drew Barrymore, Brittany Murphy. I don't know why I confuse the two of them all the time. I do. I feel so bad because I feel like they're the same. They're two sides of the same coin. Like, but yeah, Brittany Murphy got a lot of business in that movie. So did other women. But yeah, it just sticks out. I'm like, man, he works at a fucking car part factory, and you guys are you are horny.
Like
you are horny.
Like, yo, you've heard one CPF member tell us where he had sex before.
That's true. That's true.
Think about it. It's not too far of a possibility. Bro.
It's not. But it's just you have to be really horny to be having sex at a fucking car part factory.
Bro, people have sex. Yo, you'd be surprised, man. People have sex at work all the time.
I mean, look, I work at a cemetery, and they don't. And some people don't work here, and they have. All right, so.
You get it. You see it.
Yeah, I understand it. I see the. I understand the vision. I see the vision too. All right. I don't want to see it, but I see it. but no, and that like it's just. And then he walks in on her at the recording studio, and she's just getting clapped up. And he's like, "Well, I'm not recording this fucking album. Fuck this." It's like, man, you paid for that studio time. Come on,
bro. That was not cheap studio time, bro. That was not cheap.
He ain't got no money or nothing, man.
Yeah, and he spent it on a studio. Said, "No, I just saw the girl of my dreams, who is not a girl of anybody's dreams. So far. But yeah, and then
rest in peace to Brittany Murphy.
Yes.
Yeah, she died. She died pretty. I remember like when she passed, and 8 Mile was the only movie I'd seen of her.
Yeah, right.
And the girl from 8 Mile died.
Damn, the girl from 8 Mile died. And it's like, nah, she's been in actual like other movies that are also good. It's just she had an impressive like acting resume for somebody her age.
Yeah, she died at 32, and she was in like 25 movies.
Yeah, and like 15 of them like hit were good. Like
that's 2 movies a year, bro. That's 2 movies a year.
Yeah. Wild when you really think about it. But the reason I ask is because similar to 8 Mile, today's topic involves battle rapping. Now, battle rapping in WWE has a long, well, not long, but it's happened multiple times.
Shout out Mark Wahlberg.
John Cena, yeah. The most recent of which was The New Day battle rapping against the Usos with Wale as the special MC. That is not what we're watching. We're also not going to watch when Bo Dallas and the Social Outcast barred up Flo Rida on Monday Night Raw. Not watching that today. We might watch.
You mean the actual Flo Rida?
Actual Flo, yes.
The one who was on
Boots with the fur.
The one who was on the
entire state of Florida.
Yes, Flo Rida, the boots with the fur. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Barred up by Bo Dallas.
After I get off.
But we are watching not the very first one either, because there is John Cena versus Brian Spanky Kendrick. We're not watching that. We are watching from 2003, October 9th, to be exact. The epic battle rap of history between John Cena and Kurt Angle.
Nice. The GOAT.
That's right. Kurt Angle.
I'm psyched up, just like him. Yes, sir.
This is slightly...
Yes,
he is... Actually, no, he had broken his neck early. No, he was kind of, but not super on it just yet. But this is the Kurt Angle... many people might know this GIF of Kurt Angle with his hat sideways and doing
yes.
That is the genesis of this GIF. This is the second time in which I am going to provide the context of a well-known Kurt Angle GIF here on the Dork side. The first time being the milk bathing GIFs. So we're gonna watch that from the.
That's the GIF that one CPF member uses whenever he's 20 white women. Yes.
Yes. So
it is I.
It's not even you, but vibes. I was cool.
So this is from the season 5. Actually, before we do, that is it. That is the GIF. But no. So So before we get into this, I want to ask, who do you have the prediction? Who wins this battle rap? Is it John Cena or Kurt Angle?
Kurt Angle.
Oh, it's John Cena, bro.
All right, good.
John Cena's a rap.
I like that you guys are disagreeing here. We're gonna watch this here on Dork Side of the Ring, season 5, episode 41 of Friday Night SmackDown. October 9th, 2003 is the date. Time code 40 minutes, 24 seconds. We're going to watch this here on the Dork Side of the Ring, and we'll see you on the other side. This is the American Dream Dusty Rhodes here with another little advertisement for the Grumm Patreon, the Dork Side Patreon, everything encompassing Grumm.tv and all of its proprieties, such as this here podcast. Up there today, this is actually the last Monday in the early I don't know what the word. Next month, January, is when officially everything moves towards the Patreon. We got streams, we got the Dork Side of the Ring, we got YouTube. It all starts next month, January, baby. You're in the middle of Grummas, joyous Grummas to you and yours. But here's the thing, we got stuff still cooking on the Patreon right now. You got a little bit early access to episodes like these. You also got a little bit of you get a little watch-along. It's a lot of fun. Just like this one from this last one that just went up right now, the most recent one that went up. The Hog Pen match, baby, episode 10, Dan Moore, Sophie Priap, and Grumm. Take a listen to it here for a little preview of what they were talking about watching that match.
I don't know if that's fair in terms of wrestling attire. That one guy, well, I don't know. It's just equally weird. One guy's coming in equestrian clothes. The other guy's in
literally
farmer's
dressed
clothes.
for a slot match.
Yeah.
Like,
Couldn't be dressed more appropriate. They couldn't be dressed more appropriately and unappropriately.
He's
for this
wrestling
match.
in like work boots. The other guy's wrestling in riding.
Dude.
Like those aren't wrestling boots that look like.
No.
Those are legitimate.
No.
He just said, "Let me get some Timberlands. I'll be all right." That's right. You can get all that there. Listen, more of that and more, like the Teddy Long or the King of the Road match. All that stuff and more on the Patreon. Go to support.grumm.tv. Subscribe to the tier of your choosing. We got 1, 5, 10, 25. 25 gets your special episode just for you, baby. That's right. You get special episodes just for you. We gonna work on them. But in the meantime, baby, you go there. You can also continue to support for free. Just follow on the social media at Dorkside Ring and leave a 5-star review. We're gonna get back to them in just a minute. Don't worry, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we're gonna read it, baby. That's right. Dusty Rhodes here, wishing you and yours a joyous Grummas. Now let's get back to the episode. That was how the first rap battle ended. On for one Kurt Angle and John Cena. We're back here on the Dork side. So I do have to apologize before we get into it to our listeners. I had my dates mixed up. I thought that the October 3rd, the October SmackDown, or October 9th SmackDown was the SmackDown that involved the desired Dork side rap battle. It was actually the July 10th one, so I'll put the time code in that. But we got to watch 2 of them, and who? All right, so we'll do this since there's 2 of them. Who won? Who won the first one? The first one was it Angle or?
Wait.
Yeah.
You mean the first one chronologically, or the one we watched first?
The one that we watched first.
I want to say John. I don't like saying John. I say John.
Youngist, what about you? Who you got?
Well, I want to say John Cena because John Cena did body him, but
Kurt Angle's like a dad, bro. He shouldn't be doing this.
well, not only that, he got John Cena flustered and he had the crowd into it, and that's the whole point of this, right? Like it's not about who's got the better bars; it's about who's got the crowd and who makes the other person mad. So I think Kurt Angle got it,
All right. So what about the second one that we watched? The one where he jacks his hat and says he hasn't majored in Thuganomics. Who you guys got? Who won that one?
It's Kurt Angle for a fact, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say same answer.
All right,
Kurt might have even had the bars too.
Matter of fact, you can shave my for the first one too, because he called John Cena a white boy trying to be black. That's he won. He spin. He's like, yo, bro, act your race. Act your race, bro. It's okay.
Both times he called him white, the camera pans to Cena's face and he acts like he just got called a slur.
It's so true,
bro.
How dare you call me white? I'm not white.
Can't believe it, bro. He can't believe it, bro. He refuses to believe it. Refuses.
Both times he's freaking the fuck out. Cena acting offended at everything Angle's saying is probably my favorite part of both of those videos.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
The first one that we watched when he said a kid that's who's trying to be a white kid who's trying to be black. They find the only black person within the camera to get their.
She's like, yeah, let him know, Kurt. Let that nigga know.
Yeah, I think Kurt Angle won both of them, without a doubt. The first one, without a doubt. I mean, when you start off, my name's Kurt Angle, and what the heck? I won Olympic gold with a broken frickin' neck. That's hard to top because in a battle rap you want to come out strong, talk about yourself and why you're the shit, and then talk about why they're not the shit. You can't. It's hard to get better than a gold medal. People
Olympic gold medal. You going against a killer.
There are 4 NBA MVPs. Awarded for every one Olympic gold medal that's given out. Like, sure, Giannis has won 2 of them in the same span of somebody winning a gold medal, so he has 2, but he'd have to win all 4, and that unfortunately has not happened.
On a
But he get
broken neck.
Yeah,
On a broken-
with a broken neck, you know, like.
Bro was on Novocaine. Simple, bro. He was pumped up. Not Novocaine, lidocaine. There we go.
Wait, hold
Lidocaine.
on. He
Lit.
went for like Olympic wrestling in one.
Yes. So
Oh,
in
shit, really?
1996, the Atlanta Games, Kurt Angle represented
Hooper.
America.
This is a hooper.
Yes, very much a hooper. He broke his neck in the qualifiers for the Olympics, and basically got in. He had to. He took off like a tournament, and then won a next tournament and qualified for the Olympics, and then got to the Olympics. He's in there. The guy who was favored to win got disqualified in the semifinals, so he only had to beat like the third. So like he's like, whoa, I might actually win gold. Like this is holy shit, and he wins it with a broken neck, and it is. I don't know if you guys have the movie Foxcatcher.
No, when I got
Like I know the movie Foxcatcher. Like I've heard of it and heard a lot about it.
The
Have not seen it, and it's weird because it came out like 2015. Like
Yes.
it came out while I was like an adult.
So the story about Foxcatcher, the movie, the true story it's based off of, involves
Kurt
Kurt
Angle?
Angle. It involves the guy. So the guy who sponsored Kurt Angle and other Olympic wrestlers is the guy who went and just killed his brother and shit like that. Spoiler alert for the for the movie. But it's a very like well-known thing. The guy he wasn't the guy that killed the guy who sponsored it was not the guy who killed. He was the one who was killed. I had it backwards.
the greatest Olympic wrestling champion brother team joins Team Foxcatcher, led by multimillionaire sponsor John E. DuPont, as they train for the 1988 Games in Seoul, Korea, a union that leads to unlikely circumstances. That is the movie, according to Letterboxd.
Yeah, so it is basically how those brothers are everything. And like I think the brother who dies or who was killed is the brother who sponsored Kurt Angle for the Olympic Games and like brought him to the Foxcatcher facility and all that stuff. It's a wild story. Kurt Angle talked about it on his podcast. Like he gave like his involvement, and he goes, "Yeah, this is a wild story."
Kurt Angle's a podcast? I might listen, bro.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the Kurt Angle show. It's okay. It's not my favorite of the ad-free shows, but I mean, it's Kurt Angle talking about Kurt Angle things. So, like, he's like, yeah, no, I was that fucking guy. Also, I was popping 72 Vicodins a day.
Does he address his problematic past?
Yep.
Yes,
he does.
Race women?
Are you talking about the bestialities?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Youngist don't know. Youngist, you know about that?
I do not. Kurt
Okay.
Angle is not someone I'm like too familiar with.
Right.
I
So-
couldn't put a name
so
into the
Kurt
face,
Angle-
I know.
Kurt Angle, in a feud with Booker T.
For years.
I know
not-
Booker
not-
T. Big
Not
fan
for
of
years.
Booker
It was for a couple months. But the feud was because Kurt Angle had a hyper fixation on Booker T's wife, Charmel. And when the reason why he had a hyper fixation is because he was just
Corny.
he was horny for gutter trash. And that's exactly the word that trash. Like he basically said like, she's ghetto and I'm hot for it, and I need to get me some piece of like I need to get me some black gutter trash.
Some ghetto ass, bro. That's what he
Is akin to what he said. I think gutter trash is definitely the word, but he was like the implication was she's black, and I have a fetish
nigger.
for it.
She's a nigger.
But
and I'm into I'm into that.
But what is the kicker of it is that in doing the promo, he could not remember the word that was written for him, which was animalistic sex. He could not remember the exact word, but he knew that
Bestiality.
He goes, I want to have sex with your wife. I want to have raw, sex with your wife. I want to have bestiality sex with your wife. And it's like, what? Excuse Kurt. That's not what you...
Are you good?
What?
Are you
want
okay,
me like what? And he talks about, he goes, I couldn't remember it, and like it was live to tape, and they were like, yeah, that works. And he could not remember
not knowing the implications, not knowing that he's referring to a black person as an animal, not knowing.
Well, that's it, right. The thing is, it's like it's double.
That way.
It's double. Well, it was written for animalistic sex. Like he wanted to have like just the animalistic sex that so the sex that they used to be having in the movies. He wanted to be having the 8 Mile factory sex. But he couldn't remember the word animalistic, and his brain just goes, well, animalistic, no, bestiality. And it's like, all right, so 1, you're comparing a black woman to an animal, and 2, you want to have sex with an animal is what you're saying, Kurt. Like, they just left it in.
Yeah.
But they've talked about it. It's wild. Poor Kurt Angle, because he's like, yeah, I just do what they write for me, and like, it's one of those times.
I didn't even like Shorty for real.
But it's just it's so fucking like the way he delivers it too is just like, I just want to have.
So, bro, he's so emphatic about it. So
bestiality, sex with your wife.
The Vicodin, you can see the Vicodin in his eyes, bro. You can see it. He's percolated, bro. Percolated.
So,
the gold medal thing actually makes sense on the whole America ordeal, like the thing he was going for there. So I get that now. That makes a little more sense.
So when they did,
isn't the guy who just won the U.S. championship? Yes, isn't he about to be the next coming Kurt Angle anyway?
He is a mix of like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar.
Awesome. This is my favorite wrestler. This is my favorite wrestler of all time. This is awesome.
I mean, he also has rape allegations, so it's a little.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
It's messy. But no. So like, Kurt Angle debuted in 1998, during the height of Stone Cold and the Attitude Era, and Vince McMahon goes, "You're gonna be a bad guy, and you're just gonna be talking about doing things the right way." Not even that. Like he's like. So he starts off, and like he's got his big wrestling debut in the Survivor Series in 1998, and he basically yells at, or 99, sorry, not 98, 99. He basically yells at the crowd for booing him. He's like, "How dare you boo me? I am an Olympic hero. I am an American hero, and you're gonna boo me? How?" I exemplify integrity, intelligence, and like whatever, the 3 I's and whatnot, and like he basically was the antithesis of like Stone Cold, which is beer drinking, crass, fuck you, and he's like, no, I am a role model. I'm doing everything I do everything correctly. Like I am
316.
Yeah. Meanwhile, and the funny thing is, he's like, I envisioned myself being like like Stone Cold, because I'm tough. Nobody could really beat me. Like the story goes, in 1997 or 96, 97, he goes to WWE and they offer him a contract, and he goes, yeah, but I can't lose.
Refuse to lose, bro. Refuse.
And they go. What do you mean you can't lose? He goes, I can't lose. Like, I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I can
actually wrestle. I can tussle.
He's like, it would be insulting to the wrestling community if I actually lose one of these fake matches. And they're like, well, have a good one then, Kurt. Have a good one. So he leaves. He gets into like some acting, but it's not like good acting. And he gets a job as a sports announcer for Pittsburgh like news, and it's just not fun for him at all. So he calls his agent, and his agent's like, "Hey, try to call the WWE back. I'll take that job." And they're like, "Well, you're gonna get 1/5 of what we offered you. Also, you're gonna go train in a fucking warehouse in fucking Connecticut with no name guys." And
humble yourself, bro. Humble yourself.
Yeah, and it's like the lesson was like, hey, like, you're not bigger than wrestling, Kurt Angle just because you won the Olympic gold medal. And he's just like, it took me a little bit to learn this. But yeah, no, he's Kurt Angle's done some wild stuff. I mean, a lot of the wilder stuff coming after, after WWE in TNA, where Perk Angle became a thing.
My favorite Kurt Angle fact is aside from the Vikings, it's the fact that he used to wrestle. Well, Vince McMahon used to try to wrestle with him whenever they were like on set, like doing rehearsal. And that's just the funniest thing in the world to me, because Vince McMahon is big and shit, but I don't think he actually stands a chance against fucking Kurt Angle. But he was really like trying to like go at him every day. Every time you saw him, Kurt Angle was like, "Yo, bro, you good?"
Do you want to? I can expound on that favorite fact of yours and make it even more of your favorite fact.
Bro, I've read the thread about Vince McMahon like 3 times, bro. Please enlighten more. Me. I love that thread, man.
So he wrestled. He would try to wrestle and take down Kurt Angle.
Yeah, all the time. Bro.
All the time, and not just at the shows.
Planes.
On planes.
In a car, maybe.
No, seriously, legitimately on a plane. That he was, some drinks were being had, and he basically calls. He's like, "Kurt, you're a bitch." Like,
call Kurt to like to first class. Like, "Yo, come up here, bro. Me wrestle with you."
They're on their private jet. And he's like, "Look, you're a bitch. I could take you down, and you're a bitch." And he's just like egging him on, and finally, Kurt, being a little inebriated, just goes, "Fine, fuck it, fuck it." Like,
possible.
So he does this. They're wrestling.
And they wake up the Big Show, right?
No, they wake up the Undertaker, and the Undertaker is just
choking him out.
Picks them, literally, like, basically grabs the both of them by their throats and tells them to knock it off. And it's like one of those, like, only in wrestling can the boss of your only in wrestling can well, maybe not so much now, the whole Robert Sarver shit, but the boss thinking that they are as good as the professionals. B, one of the professionals getting woken up on a private jet to him, the boss, and another his coworker wrestling, and choking his boss. And C, his boss going, "Thanks for having my back there."
Yeah, bro. Yo, he's like, "Yo, you can let him down, bro. You kill him, bro. Chill, relax. You heard the product, bro. Relax."
Like, "Thanks for having my back. I knew I could count on you there, Taker." And it's like, man, why do you gotta go pick a fight with the one guy in here who's fucking legit? Like, what the fuck? Oh, jeez.
What's the like too long didn't read on Vince McMahon's like wrestling career? Like, was he wrestling beforehand and then he took it over? Or
No. So
you need to read the Twitter thread about Vince McMahon.
So
that's what you need to do.
You do need to do that because it provides wild context after the fact. But his father was a promoter. His grandfather was a promoter. So his grandfather ran the New York territory of professional wrestling. New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Washington, D.C. area for
the Atlantic. Basically, the Atlantic division.
Like, basically, yeah. Like, in between, like, New England down to about Philly and a little bit, and sometimes, like, Maryland area. In, like, the 1920s. So Vince McMahon's father, Vincent J. McMahon, picked it up. And made
up. Are you sure?
No, Vincent J. McMahon, and Vince McMahon is Vincent K. McMahon. So
lazy.
Yeah, it is so lazy. So his father was promoting, and his father was promoting like Madison Square Garden. Bruno Sammartino was his champion. Blah 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 blah. Vince McMahon, growing up with his mother in North Carolina, knew who his father was. And wanted to get in the wrestling business, and Vince's dad was like, "Nope, you can't do it." Like, no. So Vince basically went up there and was like, "I'm working for you," and he did. He was an announcer. He would do like the ring stuff. He would do, ringside interviews and stuff like that. And then he bought the company. He bought out everybody in the company, Like he basically was like, "Hey, I want to buy the company from my dad, and I can't without your guys' share. But if you guys give me your shares in the promotion,
You'll come back on the stats.
I guarantee you guys will have lifetime employment. Like you never have to worry about whether or not as long trust me on this." And they were like, "All right, fine, we're gonna trust the kid." And history was changed forever.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say he's kind of fucking big. Like
Vince
just
McMahon,
like
Vince
between
McMahon
the
is
height
most...
and like size and everything. So I thought he might have like done some wrestling and did all that. But
Bro, he just likes working out.
being a
He just
promoter
likes
makes
work out.
He is fascinating. There's a story where Mark Henry, world's strongest man, Mark Henry, who is legitimately
like certified strongest man,
won the world's strongest man, like the Arnold Classic and shit like that. Olympic powerlifter. Now he didn't medal, but he qualified in the very same Olympics that Kurt Angle won gold medal in. Mark Henry was a lifelong wrestling fan. His very first time meeting Vince McMahon is in a weight room.
Vince wants to out bench press him, bro. Can you believe this?
Vince looks at him and goes, "How much can you bench?" And he's like, 545, 3 times. And then he goes, "Ha! World's strongest, my ass." And like, Vince was dead set that he could outwork and outlift Mark Henry. And here's the thing. If you don't look at like weight at a single thing, but you go like total weight, like over a workout session, Vince clears his ass. Just because Vince worked out, the story went, Vince worked out from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. straight.
Vince is a monster.
Because he was working out until Mark Henry tapped out. And Mark Henry tapped out at 1 a.m. And Vince is like, "I got 2 more hours in me." And then he went to sleep and then called him at 6 in the morning.
Let's go, bro. Let's get back into it, bro. Let's get it.
To go, all right, hey, so let's go sign this contract, Mark. Like, he is a psychopath. The man sleeps under 4 hours a night, and he's 76 right now, and he looks like dog shit, but that guy's way too healthy, and he's going to outlive everybody. And my theory is, when his body dies, his spirit will just be. That's when the gates of hell will open up.
Bro. It'll just take over, bro. It'll just take over someone else's body.
So who's gonna take over, Shane?
Shane is a dub. Shane ain't even with WWE anymore, right?
No, Shane's with WWE. Yeah, no, he's with WWE.
Bro, Shane jumped off a cage, bro.
Yeah.
You think that matters to Vince? You think that matters to Vince, bro? He does not like his son.
Bro,
he likes his son-in-law. He likes his son-in-law more than he likes his son.
Shane McMahon has been trying to kill himself for his father's approval for like 20
years, bro.
He's
just like, "Yo, fuck it, I don't care, bro."
Well, what's funny is Shane in 2008 left the company. He sold all of his shares. He sold his shares to his family, and went to go work for some Chinese Chinese YouTube, like government funded YouTube in China. And other things where he was legitimately a successful businessman outside the industry, and they just came back because that's his family business.
It wasn't fun, bro. It was not as fun, bro.
But also, like, he didn't do any. Like, it's not like he got into the corporate structure. He just exists. Like, it's like, yeah,
It's giving Conor Roy, Youngist. It's giving Conor Roy.
Giving some Conor Roy. Grumm, who was he fighting when he jumped off the cage at WrestleMania?
You're like 5 years ago. Okay, that was Undertaker. Was it the Hell in a Cell? Yeah, that was Undertaker.
What? Why are you fighting one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? What?
Well, all right. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Bang. History time. So in 2000 because WrestleMania 38 was just now, so that was 6 years ago. So 2016. Shane McMahon comes back and interrupts a Heritage Award or some bullshit made up award that was being awarded to Vince. Shane McMahon comes back, fucking roof gets blown off. Nobody ever, like, it was one of those, like, wow, Shane McMahon coming back is really popular. Would have never thought of, not to this level. And he basically goes, like, "You're killing this company, and I'll be damned if you ruin my son's future." He goes, your grandfather built this company. Your father maintained it. You took it to new heights. But I'll be damned if you don't let my grandchildren have an opportunity to continue this legacy. To which it's funny because in the ring as well is Stephanie McMahon with her children, who she has her 3 daughters.
Literally with the next generation right there. And literally, the kid he likes more.
Literally. Yeah. So Shane basically is like, look, like I want control of the I want the company, and I'm willing to fight for it. And he goes, all right, fine, bet. You can face the Undertaker. You can face my greatest creation at WrestleMania, in his greatest creation. You can face the Undertaker in Hell in a Cell, and basically Shane he's like, I have this black box, all this blackmail.
Isn't Shane like 40 at this time, bro?
Yeah, he's like older.
Bro, like you too 40. Big to jumping on. You too big. You too old to be jumping off cages, bro.
Yes, correct.
It was the fucking craziest thing.
But the thing
that was like my first WrestleMania back, and I was like, oh yeah, I miss this shit. Like I miss the wild ass shit that just used to pop off randomly.
The thing is he does it all the time. Like,
yeah, I know.
He came back, did that at WrestleMania 32. He then later that year. He picked a fight with Brock Lesnar, because Brock had like beat the brakes off of Vince or something like that, and he's like,
you should.
And he's like, no, I know I had my shit with my dad, but like fuck you, and he just goes,
you can't be my dad. I can be my dad. You can be my dad.
He basically just Shane does that fucking shadow boxing shit that he does. That's so fucking fake, and because that's actually fake. Those aren't even good punches. And Brock just goes, okay, here we go, and just starts tossing him the fuck around. And then WrestleMania 33, he wrestles an actual wrestling match against AJ Styles. Later in that fall, he wrestles Kevin Owens and he jumps off the top of the cage again, goes through a table again. This one's a little bit more impressive because Kevin Owens waited until the last second he could to get out of the way. Shane goes straight through the cage or through the table again. Has a regular match has a tag team match with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. What did he do between that and the next Mania? He had like a couple other things. He became the world's greatest wrestler in the world. He won a tournament that was concluded. That was concluded in Saudi Arabia, so that was that, and then he took like a superplex off of like a stanchion onto like gimmicked area that would basically break his fall, and then at WrestleMania it was this past WrestleMania 37 or 38, he got chokeslammed off of a steel cage basically.
It's getting ridiculous what's going on here. Yeah. It's getting ridiculous. I hope we all can see what's going on here, bro.
Yeah. All because he was calling a big dumb guy a dummy. And the moral of the story was bullies never win. And then the very next month, the guy who beat the bully was getting called dumb again. This time by people who could actually beat his ass.
You see it. Oh man. Youngest, I really think you need to just spend 15 minutes just reading that thread, bro. It's the greatest thread I've ever seen.
You send it to me, I'll give it a shot next time I'm stuck on a bus or something.
It is absolutely wild. Like it is nothing in there I didn't know about. It was just funny to watch people react to it and like, wow, Vince McMahon
he's a bad person. He's a
bad human being. Yeah. Unlike Kurt Angle and John Cena. Well, John Cena. Well, I don't know. They're better people than Vince McMahon. That is for sure. But you guys being movie guys, I figured maybe I'll ask the question and think about it. But like, what 2 movie characters? They don't have to be from the same movie. Just what 2 movie characters would you like to see in a rap battle?
Oh, a rap battle. Okay.
Yeah. Because like my thought process was, man, like, do you go with the wild, like off the bat, like out of the nowhere, like yeah, we're doing like Happy Feet the Penguin versus like versus the Godfather, Marlon Brando.
Oh man, do you know what I hate about this question?
What?
Is I'm gonna give you an answer, and I'm gonna be happy with my answer now. And then I'm gonna go take a shower, and I'm gonna think of another answer, and then I'm gonna get up in the morning, and I'm gonna think of another answer, and I'm gonna think of like 100 answers, and it's just gonna eat me all week.
That's a good question. Then that's a great question.
It's a great question. So I think my first one, I'm gonna go for corny. Is what
Okay.
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man because I think he's got that Kurt Angle, like he thinks he's better than it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be a little bit of a smartass. And then I'm gonna go with Randall from Clerks. Grumm, I don't know if you've seen Clerks. What? He is like peak asshole, and
Yeah.
weirdly enough, even though he works at like a video store, he has the vocabulary of like a PhD, like like librarian scholar. So I think
That's a
he
good
would
one.
be fun with the words. Tony Stark is like a smug asshole that would be fun with the words. So I think I'm gonna go with those two.
That's a good one. When you said Randall from like, I'm like, wait, from fucking Monsters Inc. Like that's where my brain goes when I hear Randall from movies. I'm like, I don't know if that's broken or just being how old I am, but like
I will listen to Steve Buscemi rap too. Don't worry.
Yeah, no. What about you? What are you doing here with movie characters in a rap battle? Do you have two? Because like I'm thinking like Mike Wazowski, kind of going along because so it's basically Billy Crystal, but Mike Wazowski, and he be. I feel like it would be unfair to pick anybody who has like a normal amount of eyes. So like I'm trying to think of like what character also is missing one eye. You know what? I would do Dustin Hoffman's Hook.
Nice.
And Mike Wazowski. I could definitely see those two getting in over it. Where he's like, I have two eyes, but one of them's.
I'll do Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the
Okay.
Caribbean, and what was his name in Fast Five?
Oh,
Fuck.
are you talking about The Rock?
Yes, him. I want his character. I want his character. I don't
You
want
want
him.
his
I want his character.
Yeah.
But Hobbs, yes.
Hobbs, yeah,
Hobbs.
Hobbs. Yeah.
That's what I want. That's my rap battle right there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jack Sparrow versus Hobbs.
We've seen The Rock rap at this point. I
Exactly.
think we know
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just want to see how he's gonna respond to an actual crazy person like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. No, that's the idea that it's just like drunk Jack Sparrow just like swaying back and forth, like slurring his lines against
while carrying the cutlass too.
Yeah, right. And then you have very stoic Hellfire Brimstone, because like Fast Five Hobbs is like
is a stone wall.
Not like he's all the humor that he says is because it's like, oh no, he means that. Like he literally means he's gonna pull this man's intestines out. Like, okay, all right, that's funny. Like he seems capable of it too. So
that's a
that's a good one. Do I have another one? I want to do one.
Here it is. Found it.
I want to do one with I want to do a Will Ferrell character. I don't know which Will Ferrell character would be the best for a rap battle though.
Anchorman.
So we're doing Ron Burgundy. Ron Burgundy. I was also thinking of what is his Wedding Crashers character name? Is it
disgusting, bro? That's just
right?
Nasty.
Yeah,
nasty.
I'm thinking that would be funnier because like he'd just be talking about how many hoes he bags at the guy's funeral. Like he's like, I just killed your career and I'm getting hoe.
That's nasty.
I don't know. His character from Get Hard might have tried rapping a little bit. I don't remember that movie all too well, but
He got the cornrows and everything, so that one might be fun.
Give me Will Ferrell's character in Wedding Crashers, and give me... You know what? Give me Dave Bautista as Drax.
Mm.
That's a good one.
And really, actually, Drax in any rap battle, because like any like actual like metaphor and shit is just gonna be like,
huh?
He's gonna be like, I'm standing right here. I'm not actually a galaxy away.
Yeah, he's far too literal.
I'm not a guardian.
No. I have killed people. Yes, this is. I'm still.
You're spitting. Yes.
I don't see any moisture coming. I don't see any saliva coming from your. What do you mean bar? No, you're just spitting spit. Like I don't see these bars. We're not in jail. It's just like.
Grumm, let me ask you a question since we're kind of on the movie thing.
Yeah.
So you've been following wrestling for like God knows how long. Who was like a wrestler that like started getting into acting that you looked at and were like, oh, this is gonna fail terribly? Or who was one you looked at and were like, oh, it's gonna be a fucking movie star?
So
you can't say John Cena.
No.
No, he can say John Cena.
You can't.
I mean, because I saw John Cena and I was like, he's gonna fucking suck.
So I'll say, So you asking me like before they started as a movie? Before they started,
like when they were getting like their first role or two.
Okay, I remember I was too young at the time to really look at The Rock. Like I was 10 when The Rock started doing like the Scorpion King or his role in Mummy 2.
That was Brendan Fraser, right?
Yeah. Where
that was
he's
like 2003?
No, that was 2001.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, 2002. 2002 was then Scorpion King. He was filming it, and it came out early 2003.
The Rock definitely has like two sets of his career, like pre-Fast 5, his movie career.
Yep.
Walk Tall and
so
run.
There's a
the babysitter the movie.
The Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy.
There's another one where he has a daughter coming to his life.
The game plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's the post-Fast 5 career, which is the action star we got now.
So it's weird, right? Because he was kind of that action star before too, but they were cashing in on like the fact that he's The Rock, and I think the story goes is like his agency was like, you got to take these lighter roles. Like you can't be a movie. Like they're only gonna pigeonhole you as The Rock, and you never be taken seriously. If you want to take this seriously, like you can't be.
You gotta show
The
range.
Rock. You gotta be Dwayne Johnson, and he's like, all right. And there was a period in time where he was never credited as Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He was just Dwayne Johnson. Like Tooth Fairy, Game Plan. His role. He's in Be Cool. Which is good in Be Cool. Which is a guilty pleasure movie of mine. It's not that good of a movie, but
I disagree, Grumm.
Okay,
and I'm with you. Be Cool, fucking.
Like I said, it's not that good of a movie. I think it's a great movie though, if that makes sense, right? Like I think critically, it is not a good movie.
We know what you mean.
Okay, right. Like if we were doing if I was ever on a This Is Cash, we're doing Be Cool because I love that movie. And I could sit here and talk about it. But, like, that was where, like, his first role where he's, like, kind of subverting expectations, where he's like, yeah, I'm the big bodyguard, but I'm also gay. Like, it's...
That's range.
And he's got the little fro and the eyebrow thing.
Yeah, where they're like, you're still The Rock, but also, like, you know, you got to do, like, he does the monologue, like, his monologue is fucking, the back and forth from, Bring It On. and they're like, John Travolta's like, the thing is, monologue is really one person. You don't do all the parts in the scene. He's like, oh, okay. But no, like, to answer your question, Rock's not there because I wasn't old enough to understand that he was going into movies. I remember Batista wanting to go into movies after MMA, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't see it.
It's working out.
But it's absolutely working out for him. I mean, he's gonna be he's probably gonna be the big bad of Dune too. So good for him. Or at least physically. I mean, not like literally, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then John Cena is also. I think they're. I will say this: Roman Reigns is going to be a Hollywood star.
He was pretty good in Hobbs and Shaw. That's the only thing I've seen him in. But yeah.
That's the only thing he has been in. But
really? Okay.
I remember when he first came on like the scene, I'm like, God damn it, he's a handsome mother. Like this is a guy
he's sexy Jason Momoa, bro. He's very sexy.
But he's
Momoa.
They occupy the same lane, except he's younger, and he's actually bigger than Jason Momoa. Like,
yeah, he's fucking huge.
Which you see, Jason
a big nigga, bro.
Who Jason Momoa also in Dune. Dune had a lot of big names in it. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
We know.
Spoiler alert, he dies in it. Yeah, he dies in it, but he does have a nice moment about that in that movie.
Yeah, I mean Jason Momoa is super charismatic. I'm not too familiar with Roman Reigns. I'll admit, with Roman Reigns, the first time I saw him was like I'd heard the name, but the first time I watched him wrestle was him defeating the Undertaker's streak, and it pissed me off. I fought it. I was like, come on, they're just bringing this like if the Undertaker's gonna lose at WrestleMania, it can't be some fucking random ass kid that they're gonna.
Give me some new guy, bro.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing: he had already lost at that point. Brock Lesnar beat him at WrestleMania 30 and broke the streak. Yeah, Brock Lesnar broke the streak at WrestleMania 30. So So Roman Reigns is the only other person to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania, but that was supposed to be Undertaker's like retirement match, and it was dog shit. Like it was such a bad match, and I'm like, this ain't on Roman. People are gonna blame it on Roman. Undertaker
I blamed it on Roman. I blamed it on Roman.
That's fair. Well, like, look, that's fair. Like I'm saying, like the people who follow it and they're just gonna be like, well, it's Roman's fault because he can't work a guy like Undertaker. It's like, no, Undertaker can't work. Period. Like the man has the man has dust for hips. Like that's not how they.
He's done, bro. He's done out here, bro. Take him out the pasture, man.
Yeah, and then he wrestled for a couple more matches, including a very bad one in Saudi Arabia. The worst match I've ever seen against Goldberg. I don't know why they thought that was a smart match. But hey, we move. Roman Reigns, I would say, I'm like, man, he's going to be so good in Hollywood whenever the fuck he goes in there because he's handsome. He understands character work, like, not like like right now he's doing this very subtle, like, family manipulator thing where he's just like, for the last year and a half now.
He's the patriarch. He's just the patriarch.
Yeah, he's the head of the table. Shit. And like
he's like, I pay the bills here, bro. I gotta do what I say.
He's manipulated everybody around him. Like he basically almost killed his cousin twice, and his cousin follows him. He's the right hand man, and then his cousin's twin brother comes back. He's like, I'm nobody's bitch. Like fuck you. And now he's like following. He falls in line, and he basically has everybody wrapped around his fingers, and he's like this very calm like guy, but then when the second something goes wrong is he snaps, right? And it's like, wow, this is excellent character work for wrestling. But also if you get him in acting and give him a whole role to sink his teeth in for a month. We're gonna be cooking here. A lot of wrestlers would actually make pretty good actors because especially those in WWE, because they are trained to do everything live in front of a camera, one take. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of wrestlers talk about, like, yeah, I was on a movie and then, like, we did one take and then I was like, all right, cool, on to the next, and I was like, oh. No, like they're like, no, we have to do 5 more takes from this angle alone. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, and they're performers. I mean, they're performers by nature. I mean, getting in the ring and doing a rap battle is something that's written within the script. Like, that's not spontaneous between them. So they get out there and they perform.
Also,
but as for Roman Reigns, I did look up what his next movie is. There is a movie about monster wrestling It's an animated movie that has like a massive cast, and he's
Oh.
gonna be a voice in that. So
Oh, it's probably like a WWE. Like they've done ones of like Scooby Doo and Monster Mania and stuff like that, or the Jetsons.
Oh, I think this is like a feature, man.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's got Will Arnett, Terry Crews,
This is gonna be
Oh,
a
wow.
banger. This is gonna be the
Tommy
greatest movie of all
Smith.
time. It's gonna be
Yeah.
the greatest movie of all time.
Michael Buffer, Charles Barkley.
Wow.
Had some fun with it. But
So finding all these Kurt Angle gifts and
Kurt Angle is like if not for Randy Orton, I'd just watch Kurt Angle stuff. Bro.
Speaking of
The guy
Randy
that's
Orton,
awesome.
Randy Orton is the wrestler who, when I saw he was getting into movies, I'm like, that's gonna suck.
It's so bad, bro.
yeah,
That's
he
was-
did 12 rounds too, right?
Yeah,
he
and it
did.
was
He did.
it was bad.
Terrible.
It was
terrible, bro.
He also
That
did the
movie-
Condemned 2. It was bad.
That stank. That stank.
Yeah. 12
What?
rounds. Big fan of 12 rounds.
I knew
Um,
we got to do. I knew we got to do things where he's just like security, you know.
Randy Orton just
intimidation factor, bro.
you know where Randy Orton would excel as the scumbag stepdad.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, like the pops in the movie we watched, Youngist. Fuck, bro. We had like a whole month discussion about this movie. Fuck, bro.
You're talking about the one with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell?
No. I'm not watching anything.
The reaction. No. The fuck?
No. That's the
Scumbag
movie.
Stepfather? Is that what you're asking me?
No. No. I'm trying to make sure I got the right movie. But it's the one we did with the UFC kids.
Never Back Down?
There we go. He should be a dad like
That's your
Oh, yeah.
fucking... You were the one that loves that movie.
I love a lot of movies though. So I just have to remember the title. Thank you.
Yeah.
He has to be an intimidating father, like the antagonist's father in that movie. Slap up his kid a little bit. That's what he has to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy. So was Randy Orton a heel? I don't really remember.
Yes.
Randy Orton was the biggest heel, bro. Randy Orton was
Yeah.
kicking women, kicking old men in the neck, bro.
Kissing
Twisting their heads, bro.
unconscious women.
The biggest heel.
The store there's, and not just in the ring. There's the rumor is, and it has since been dispelled. However, it is still funny to talk about. Randy Orton was very young and had a lot of success very quickly. Like he's the youngest WWE champion of all time, like at 21 or 22. I forget the exact age. But he's the youngest world champion of all time. He then at some
I hear voices in my head. They talk to me.
the voices told him to shit in some woman's travel bag. One of his female coworkers.
Bro, he's a serial pranker, bro. Serial pranker. Oh man.
Yeah, Randy Orton's definitely someone I remember.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, I used to get him
Biggest
confused
heel,
with CM Punk a lot.
Yes.
which I know-
Yes.
I don't know if those two are like similar at all, but they kind of reminded me of one another.
Yeah, he CM Punk was he was in a movie. He's been in indie movies that have been well received. I haven't watched any of them though.
He did UFC and got waxed, right?
Immediately.
First
However,
fight.
His second fight, the result got overturned years later. So
He's
basically,
1-1, huh?
he is 1-1. Yes, he had. He won on a technicality. He has a win on a technicality.
There we go. 500.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But no, he's in a couple. Like, there's is it the what is it? It's like apartment on the the room on the 31st floor, or something like that. Girl on the 3rd floor. There we go. And he's in another one called Rabid. That was in 2019. They were both in 2019. He's gonna be in a new one called Jacob's Wife. It looks like he's the deputy Colton. Anne is married to a small town minister, and it feels like her life shrinking over the past 30 years. Encountering the master brings her a new sense of power and appetite to live bolder. However, the change comes with a heavy body count. And it
You
looks
know-
like a vampiric. That's
What about like some of the one-offs? I don't know if you've seen like Magic Mike, but Kevin Nash and the Magic Mike.
Kevin Nash is
Great,
not a
man.
one-off, my friend. No. Have you ever seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze?
Yes, I have.
The Super Shredder in the movie is
Really?
Kevin Nash. Kevin
I have that movie on Blu-ray. I might throw that on right.
Nash. Kevin Nash is also in. Was he in a?
He's in Longest Yard.
He's in Longest Yard, but he's also in a. He was also in a King Arthur movie. I don't know if it was one of the big ones.
That sounds about right.
But he was in there. I mean, look, he's a handsome man and very tall. He was in John Wick as well. He was in the he is in
John Wick.
He was in the 2000
This is Cash.
2004 edition of The Punisher.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen that Punisher?
He's just known as the Russian.
From Russia.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck. What else was it? Or maybe it didn't.
I got you right now, bro.
He was
John Wick, Magic Mike.
He was Odin in the Almighty Thor. That's the movie I was thinking, but that was a TV movie.
He's in Chick Fight, Monster Brawl.
I would say.
He's most definitely not a one-off.
No. Hulk Hogan has been in some movies. He's been in a lot of movies as well.
Muppets Go to Space.
Absolutely, that's the first one I always go to as well. But also, actually, you know what? I know I said it'd be cool. No Holds Barred would be a lot of fun because that was a movie produced by WWE, so like they funded it and whatnot.
Like 12 rounds.
Yeah, and it led to No Holds Barred, the movie, The Match, which was a pay-per-view event where
Tommy Lister Jr.
Yes, where Zeus became a character in WWE. So they took Zeus from the movie No Holds Barred, made him a character so that he could wrestle Hulk Hogan and they could sell it on pay-per-view on Christmas.
That is, yeah.
Talk about vertical integration.
Tommy Lister Jr. is a big This Is Cash
favorite.
Our show.
We've
done a few movies with him in them, so we would love to do another one with him. Hulk Hogan's done some good stuff. I know Great Khali is like hilarious in The Longest Yard.
Yep. Yeah, I would say he's like a one-off.
Second he's on screen.
Yep.
Yeah. Goldberg takes a shower with his dick out in Longest.
Yeah. They call you the Hammer for a reason, huh? Yeah. Also, yeah, but the best wrestler in Longest Yard is 100% Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, Stone Cold's a wild boy in that one. He's actually like super charismatic in that, to the point that like as I got older, I started realizing like he's a lot more natural than actors in that movie. Like you watch Nelly now and you can kind of tell he's not really an actor. Stone Cold, like he fits in seamlessly. He
is, and it's funny because he doesn't do a lot of movies because they just wanted to typecast him as that hardcore Stone Cold. You're Stone Cold. He's like,
as a redneck.
He's like, yeah, no, but like him in Longest Yard is hilarious, if only for the fact that he just is antagonizing Nelly at every fucking turn. He's like, that's how the white man plays the guitar. That's how the white man runs a football.
Cooking him, bro. Cooking him.
Just could not, like, at every moment was absolutely relentless to him. Oh god, the fucking Conquistador Kurt Angle, where he's just like a giant condom.
Yeah. I was gonna say that,
so
bro.
Bad.
I was gonna say that.
It's so bad. And his second run in WWE is just not fun to think about because he's like he can't move like and it's just rough. But yeah, so any one-off wrestlers? Roman Reigns so far is a one-off. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say the wrestler known as Miro. He was known as Rusev. He's like so Dolph Ziggler had a match or had a movie.
Yeah.
That basically had him being a detective, and Kane was his captain.
I've seen this movie. Stank, bro. Fucking stank.
And
It's
so bad. But Rusev is in it as like the villain, as like the Russian villain, and he's got a gun, but he's wearing his fucking ring gear, but he pulls a gun out of his fucking ring gear, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious as a concept. Like, like what's he gonna do? Walk around with a gun down to the ring? What the fuck?
I did not know Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero had beef, man. I'm seeing the GIF.
Oh boy,
So, I can imagine why this. I already know why. About now, if I do my math correctly, to chronological order and shit.
Yeah, it's it was
Shout out George Bush.
No, that was a JBL heat. That well, I mean, they did have a kind of
a tussle, a little scrap.
Well, no, they kind of had it over that, but it was JBL was more of the one. I mean, JBL chased legal Americans into Mexico because he thought that they were crossing the border.
Oh, I know.
Oh, no, I know you know.
You showed me. You showed me.
Youngist might not know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I talk about it a lot, on Dork side, which is there's a lot of stuff that could qualify as Dork side of the ring, but is very just like a white like. I don't know if I'm the right guy to be like, hey, let's laugh at this white man chasing legal Mexican Americans back into Mexico.
Let's address racial inequality through the eyes of WWE.
Yeah. Or
I'm the white guy doing it. I'm,
yeah. Yeah. Or like, let's laugh at the time WWE decided to have three Mexican wrestlers known as the Mexicools ride Juan Deere's to the ring every time they wrestle.
Christmas.
No, every time. But no, they
Bobby Lashley? Is this Bobby Lashley?
Bobby Lashley? No, that's Shelton Benjamin.
The black guy? Okay.
Yeah, that's Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, that's
Good times, man.
Yeah. Great times. I miss World's Greatest Tag Team. Yeah, I can't think of any other one-offs that come to the top of my head in terms of wrestlers. I was going to ask you guys, and we'll do this to really wrap it up, because we were talking about we kind of talked around about wrestlers in movies and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But WWE has had multiple movies from there, and I'm sure you guys have seen a handful of them. It sounds like 12 Rounds is a favorite.
Yes, it is.
But have you seen enough to say that there's one that is definitely the best?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think I've seen many.
Okay.
I'm pulling up a list now to see what I've seen. Holy shit, they actually did theatrical film released by the WWE was The Rundown, which I have seen. I did not know that was a WWE movie.
Wait a second. They
got a production credit on it because of The Rock.
Oh, I love this movie. Oh my god.
I don't know if I love the movie, but yeah,
I love this.
It's definitely like a cable classic.
That's why I love it. I didn't have the access to acquire so many films as I do now. So I would come home, go to this used to be on FX all the time, bro. Watch this movie. I was in love with this movie.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good one. Yeah.
But for like WWE movies, I know there was that span from like 2008 to like 2014 where they were putting out these B-rate action movies.
See, bro, not even giving them C, bro.
So let's see, we've got a couple of them. So it starts off with the Marine, and the Marine is very good.
That's a great one.
I have not seen the Marine.
You haven't seen the Marine?
It's John Cena's first movie that he ever made. It is very good.
Okay.
Then it follows up with The Condemned with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Vinnie Jones is in it. The premise of it is incredible. I very much like the premise of it. And it's also very good. I think it's a very good action movie. You know, a very
Still
good
making movies. Roman Reigns has a movie coming out in February called Rumble.
Yep.
I was just talking about that.
Yeah, we're just talking about that.
The animated movie, and it is a WWE production, so you were right, Grumm. But it's released through Paramount. It's like, it is a feature film. It's not like one of those.
So WWE is now more so licensing out their IP, which is their contracted workers, as fucked up as it really is.
Slavery.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But technically it's legal because it's independent contractors, and they have proven, and they have yet to be beaten in court when having to prove that that intellectual property does not include the people. But
I mean, they are writing the characters, so I see the vision.
Yeah. So
I don't like it. I see it.
You know what? I'll go back to this. Your question earlier, Youngist. Which wrestler, like, I saw, I'm like, yeah, they'd make a great, like, actor. The Miz, he just does so many just not good, like, he does a lot of movies that let him still wrestle, like, while he shoots it. Too. So, like, he doesn't, like, he'll just do, like, low budget, you know, straight to DVD movies, but he's solid in them, and if he ever just was like, yeah, I'm going to take 3 months off to go shoot this feature film, I think he'd be pretty good at it. But he just loves wrestling.
He did. Didn't he do like a reality show or something? I know he pretty.
The Miz,
he did Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, so he went on like stage for Dancing with the Stars.
He just lost. Like,
like super charismatic and like funny guy. You know, has some fun with it.
If I like
Marine 3 Homefront featuring The Miz.
There's also Marine 3, Marine 4, Marine 5, Marine 6. He's in. There's a lot of Marines, and he's in them all.
WWE got strong ties with the military, so I understand. I understand.
Also, I would say like they did technically WWE Studios did The Call. I don't know if you remember that movie. It had Halle Berry. She was a 911 operator.
Movie stank, bro.
Yeah, it did.
I had an argument with a woman. I wanted to take her on a date about this movie, and I was like, "This movie stinks." She was like, "There's no way you think this movie stinks." I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry, sweetheart. It's not a good film."
Yeah. It's not great.
Have you seen Fighting with My Family?
I have, yes, with Blam's girl, Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh, yeah.
Yes.
I did not. I think I watched it. Don't really remember much about it, but I know it was like really well regarded, and it was like supposedly a really good insight on like WWE families.
Mm-hmm. No, so the subject of the film is Paige Brittany Knight, and she is incredibly young and has they filmed it they filmed that. And they had to sit on it for a little bit because Paige, the subject of the film, Paige, had some like troubles with her life. Like, she was getting addicted to some stuff. She was in with the wrong crowd. Like, not great. So they were kind of holding off on it. Like, well, let's not put her any more in the limelight than she already is right now.
Surf's up.
Yep.
Wave Mania.
Yep. Yeah. WB likes it. Yep. They like.
Wow.
They love the animated ones. Are so easy.
So
it's pretty. It's told. The idea is like it's told. It tells her story, and they fluff a little bit. Vince Vaughn's in it. Vince Vaughn plays like the guy who basically discovers talent and whatnot, and and hires them and stuff like that. And it's really a simplified version of how the process actually works, and it's just an easy to digest. It's a much more complicated system of being discovered and what happens, but they streamline it to where it's kind of cool. They very much fluff the story of like, oh, she's different, she's not your typical wrestler at the time. Was not your typical female wrestler. Like they were all tall, blonde hair, skinny, very tan, and she's pale, dark hair, British.
Yeah.
And
Short.
the whole
Short
idea,
hair.
yeah, like the idea is like, hey, look, like we hired you to be you, not to be them. But it's a pretty good movie. They do. I was glad they did it because in real life it was kind of a thing. But her older brother was trying to get signed by WWE, and they were like, "Yeah, he's gonna be the guy that gets from this family gets signed to WWE and whatnot." And they're like, "Yeah, no, we don't need you." And he's like, he struggled to accept that they didn't want him, and because that's. I mean, it's tough. You think about it, you spend your whole life trying to go for this one thing, and they're just like, yeah, we'd rather have your sister than you. Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, it works a little differently than other sports. I know there's politics in other sports, but the politics in that are a lot different than the politics in the WWE. Like, you got to check multiple boxes that you might not have control over when it comes to WWE and other stuff. Like, the NBA, there's 60 players that get drafted. It's usually the best 60. Like NFL, same way. Like, there's 7 rounds you might get drafted, and usually the best players are the ones getting drafted. Like, there's obtainable and objective goals when it comes to that. With the WWE, like, you could work your whole life and Vince McMahon just might not like you.
I feel like the politics here are more aligned to Hollywood politics than they are in sports, like other sports.
Like, as we're recording this, November 4th, WWE just released like 20 talents today. Like,
okay.
And of which, like, a lot of them are very surprising. Some of them aren't surprising. Some of them are newer talents that they've kind of invested time into. The last, like, 8 months has been very weird for WWE because it's like, well, why are you getting rid of some of these talents? And part of it, like, like this most recent wave, a lot of the people that were, like, a good handful of the people released were anti-vax, like, loudly anti-vax. So it's very obvious why they got released. It's like, well, we're traveling international, and you can't
make money off us. You can't get no railroads, bro.
So we're not even going to invest any time in you. You know what? Might as well just cut them.
Yeah.
And which is, I agree with, like, just from a business sense, outside, not even like the whole, like, you're an idiot, get fucking vax, you fucking bozo. Like the fucking 2K guy. Like, I don't understand how you give up 40.
You see, Grumm, you understand my issue earlier?
Yes. It's $40,000. Go get a shot, you idiot. Like, $40,000 to and a house. Like they had him living in a team house.
They use transportation too, probably, or you can just like put that on the company card. Why would you make things hard, bro? Why are we doing this?
Fucking idiot. Like, just, it's $40,000. You can't get a shot for $40,000. Your principles are more valuable to you than $40,000 annually. You idiot. You fucking bozo. I rest in piss to your fucking career.
Bro, and to play 2K, bro.
And it's not like, and here's the thing. He's not a good streamer. He's not entertaining. He's just really fucking good at basketball. Nobody's going to want to pay to this man for his fucking content. Because he wasn't getting paid for his content. He's getting paid for his skill.
That's it. And he said, nah.
He said, nah, I don't want to be forced to take a vaccine. He said it.
Mind you, he has to travel to all the, like, bro, come on, bro.
He said it did not mesh well with both his personal and religious beliefs.
Come on, bro.
Like,
you're not Kyrie. You can't afford this.
I mean, who knows? He might be able to. He might just be like 5th generation American and living really good off of his parents' legacy, right? Like, he might, But $40,000?
Yeah, I'm 100%. I mean, I took a vaccine for free, but
yeah, right. Yeah.
40 grand might have had me questioning my morals and values a little bit.
You're like, you know what? Am I right for this? This is $40,000 and a house.
My
Sure, I got
roommates
it.
is cool. My roommates are cool. If they're not cool, I don't gotta see. Aside
Yeah.
from we like practicing, I can work on my skills in peace. I do my thing, and then when it's time for our match, I go play 2K, and then I'm
Nah, you
straight.
fucking idiot. Just
Bro said I'll go work retail. I'll go work retail before I go get the vaccine, bro.
I can't believe it. I just can't. And like, but no, like to your point about like the politics of professional wrestling, like it's very well documented about the politics where guys would, like
Abuse their power,
I mean, like, like every top guy has done it to where it's like, all right, well, I have leverage in this situation. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose to that guy, But also, like, I talked about this with X and Knees is like Shawn Michaels used his influence as the top guy to bag the most downloaded woman in 1995 or 1994 in Sunny.
I'm literally just looking at the gif of Kurt Angle hitting him with the move. I'm like, Shawn Michaels really used to be the sex symbol for American.
He did. Like
Shawn Michaels was hot, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. I've never saw it, bro. I never saw it. Like maybe the hair thing, but
so here's the picture. This is him in 1996 with the woman who was the most downloaded woman of 1994, 95, 96, like in the 90s.
Who is this lady? I can't recognize her face.
This is Sunny. I can't believe we're talking about it back to back, but it is just wild how we're talking about Sunny, and the fact that Shawn Michaels would be bagging Sunny.
You can literally see her cooch.
Jesus.
He would be they would be going at it like two consenting adults in his hotel room or his or a locker room, and his buddy Kevin Nash would stand outside so nobody would interrupt.
Nice.
And then Sunny, whose high school boyfriend, who was also a wrestler, who came into the company with him or with her, Chris Candido, would ask Nash, like, "Hey, is Sunny in there?" It's Tammy, and he's like,
"Fuck, bro,
he'd be like,
you gotta break up with Shorty."
No, like it is bad. We like when you listen to because we talk about it in great detail on with me, X, and Neezus, and that'll be coming out in a couple weeks as we're recording this. It's bad. Oh, buddy, is it bad? She's messy. They're toxic. Shawn Michaels is fucking coked out of his mind. Yeah. But yeah, politicking and wrestling is very much like entertainment.
And any other industry, for it to be honest.
Yeah, well, like more. Yeah, it's more like you said. It's more like Hollywood, right? Where it's like politicking based off of that. Where it's like I don't want to work with that guy because he did me wrong when I was coming up in the business. Like
I want him dead.
I want him dead. Couple times. Yeah. So before we get out of here. Last thoughts. We barely, again, second episode in a row, we barely talked about the thing, but we talked about it and it just naturally flowed, which is good. The battle raps between John Cena and Kurt Angle. Final thoughts to give to the folks on what you saw tonight there. We'll start with Youngist.
Ooh, man. Like I said, big fan of just like the idea of wrestling being like a written entertainment thing, and someone in a room was sitting there, and like you brought up 8 Mile and how that kind of like revolved around the same time period, and someone's like, yeah, we need to have like battle rap.
That's exactly how it happened, bro. That's exactly verbatim how it happened.
Twice in a 3-month span.
Yep, it happened twice, and just like having that kind of that ambition to just be like, all right, so who are we gonna have rap? And they're like, you know what, John Cena, this persona that's great for rapping. Who should he rap against?
The whitest person,
Kurt Angle. And then they probably call Kurt Angle, and they're like, hey, so like, do you think you can do some like battle rap and stuff? And Kurt Angle's probably like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but sure. And we end up getting that. So like the behind the scenes stuff in wrestling is always like interesting to me, and I know we didn't really dig into that, but that was where my mind was racing the whole time we were watching that. It's like, whose idea was this? Why did they come up with this idea? And like, did it work out the way they thought it was gonna work out? And I think it hit all that.
All right. What about you there, OXL?
Kurt Angle is just once again proven he's one of the greatest creations ever from the mind of the collective writing room that is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon does not have all these ideas by himself, but Vince McMahon is how to orchestrate them in the best way. I'm trying to move this photo of this lady's crotch out of my face. I'm tired.
Just scroll up a little bit.
I'm just gonna put another Kurt Angle gif in the chat.
Look, I'll do you a favor. I'll get rid of it for you.
You can leave it there, bro. You can leave it there, bro.
You can go back. I'm gonna go back and look at it real quick. Hold on. Yo, bring it back. No. So
this is the greatest. But yeah, Kurt Angle. The fact that he as the whitest person, probably like on like the whitest American person on the roster at the time, was telling another white person that he wants to be black twice. It's just you can't write something better than that. You cannot. You can try. You just cannot write something better than that. Because if black people probably told John Cena, bro, you really jacking the culture, bro. You culture vulturing, right? Like, hey,
he absolutely was.
Paid. This is how I'm getting paid, bro. I'm sorry. I wish I could do this. I'm getting paid. So
all because he did a Vanilla Ice
one time impression at a party, right?
Yeah. That's what
Vince was like, "Yo, you should make this your thing."
Basically, yeah.
Sick bastard.
Absolutely.
And then we have the epitome of America. America probably wasn't 100% as accepting of hip hop and black culture as it is now. Like it was a niche thing. It was cool, Show you had what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptance, tolerability. We're tolerable towards minorities, but having this guy say, "Hey, I'm gonna meet you on your place, tell you, quit being a nigger." Tap in.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
It's wild. Like just to be like, oh yeah, like, all right, like, well, you're white. Reminder, Mr. Cena, you're white. Like, the thing is,
put your pants up. Put your damn pants up, man.
I don't recall him outside of The Rock. I don't think John Cena has ever gotten into a rap battle.
Never, bro.
With anybody who is not white. It's only white. It's white on white crime. It is
good.
There was The Big Show, Brian Kendrick. There was Elias. There was The Rock. Although that was like kind of more of like he had 16 for The Rock. But it is.
He had a hot 16 for his GOAT. That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
But yeah, no. It is. It's a fun time capsule to look back and be like, that's the guy who is currently like Peacemaker. Like he's got his own.
Gross.
He's got his own HBO Max fucking series now. And that's where he started wearing Wake Forest jerseys and.
Tim Duncan at that, bro.
Yeah, Tim Duncan.
I first saw 2 years later, fucking Tim Duncan, bro.
Yeah. No, but also, still though, the wildest of his attires was the "I'm hip hop and you're not." Looked like a very. He looked like he was gonna do some damage at a high school.
Bro,
because he got made fun of.
Football game, bro. That's what this nigga look like, bro. Come on, man.
So bad.
Come on, man. This is
yeah.
You know what's funny? Another thing about John Cena.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't want to be construed as if I hate John Cena because I used to like using him in the video games and stuff. But it's the fact that John Cena was both the hip hop guy and the army guy in the same like fan.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Right? In the same span of time. And I'm like, yo, you really can't do this, bro.
No, he's the guy who can unite the cultures. You know,
Shit is disgusting.
he's the Venn diagram. Hip hop, army, John Cena. Like
Shit is disgusting.
John Cena and Master P. Like that's it.
Shit is disgusting.
No Limit Soldiers and John Cena. That's the Venn diagram. That's it. Little did we know that John Cena was the unknown No Limit Soldier.
Apparently, bro.
But yeah, it was it. Look, early 2000s was
a weird 2000s in America was a weird time.
Weird time because we're conscious
about.
We're starting to be conscious about some things, but not giving a damn about them. Like, oh, homosexuality. 2003. Yeah,
it's cool for the movie.
It's there. It's cool. Yeah,
it's cool to laugh at. Yeah, it's cute. You know.
Yeah, but we're in a much better place now. Still got progress that we need to make, though. With that said, let's get us out of here. It is late. OXO is about 2.5 hours past his bedtime. OXO, let us tell the people a little bit where they can find you again, what you got working on, and anything you wanna plug.
We have This Is Cash. The Twitter handle is Cash. This is we wanted This Is Cash, but like the username wasn't available, so I'm sorry. Maybe in a year or two it'll be available. We'll just steal it at the right time. I think I really gave my media handle, but yeah, if you wanna, to see me work out and stuff or play Fortnite, on Twitter, my shit is Ollie's OLLIESMOODS. Instagram is just gonna be me shit posting whenever I get posting. So there's that. OLVOXO. The Letterboxd, because I try to review movies every now and then when I watch movies. I haven't watched a movie. It's like seriously done my usual movie binges in some weeks, but same thing on Twitter. OLVOXO. Youngist, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm Youngist, YOUNGIST on all platforms. You can find me there. You can listen to me some more on Running Back the Hits, talking music. You can listen to me on This Is Cash, talking movies, and hopefully we'll have Grumm on both of those soon. About whatever, but yeah, thanks for having me on, Grumm. Had a blast. I don't get to talk wrestling often. Wrestling's not something I'm like too well versed in, so kicking back and hearing some stories and getting to drop my small tidbits was always fun.
It was a blast to have the both of you. OXO is now tied with Jim Jam for appearances. Canonically, he's not gonna like that. But you know what? He's gonna have to deal with it. It's my show. It's my show. If he wants to talk about Transformers, he goes on This Is Cash, which you can find on Spotify, to talk about Transformers films. But yeah,
I'm just gonna say Yippee-ki-yay. It's like Kurt
Angle. That's another thing. Look, Kurt Angle is an incredible, charismatic individual.
Treasure. He's an American treasure. That's what he is.
And I'm glad he got over his was able to defeat his substance abuse issues. Because man was popping 40 Vicodins, 40 to 66
in a day, bro.
Yeah,
regularly. Work out 3 times a day. Probably take 20 for each workout session. And oh my god!
And then just be gone off the perch. And then he's like, "I'm good. I don't have an issue." And then he's like, while he's saying that, just chugging alcohol. Not good.
Pouring up.
Glad he is okay though. That is a good turnaround. He's got his own fucking. He has his own fitness food. It's called like chicken snacks. They're like they're protein filled flavorful chicken bite things. Apparently they're all right, but I don't know if they're overpriced. I don't know. You might be you as a weightlifter looking to get some gains. You might look, figure I'd pass that info along to you and the listeners. Who knows?
This is a goddamn American treasure right here.
Much like the Dork Side of the Ring. Thank you guys
Yes,
for coming
sir.
on. It was a blast.
Thank
Can't wait
you.
to have you guys on again in the future. Look, Kurt Angle put his body through hell, and he paid the price for it. And found himself addicted to Percocets and other pain medication, and then found a new addiction when he kicked that. Thankfully, he's all right. He's good now. He's addicted to living life, and that's good. That's good. My word's not his. Thanks, OXO Youngist, for hanging out. Again, you guys can follow them on their Twitters. Ollie's Mood, OLLIESMOOD for OXO. For Youngist, it's Youngist, Y0UNGIST. And you can find their, podcasting feed. This is Cash is the podcast. You find them on social medias. Cash, this is. Little backwards. Fun conversation. I had a lot of fun with those two. And it is, they've talked about this. I'm going to have a couple more CPFs who have their own podcast soon. But next week, it is Christmas week, baby. It is a week of Christmas. It is the last Dork Side before Christmas. And I decided to do the episode before Christmas, because Christmas falls on a Saturday, and it's weird. I thought about doing 2 episodes, but when I did this, I really only had one thing, and then I ended up doing, when I went and recorded, I really didn't want to do I just wanted to do the one, because came up with an idea for New Year's, but we'll get to that next week. Next week's episode, I'll get to that at the end of next week's episode, but next week's episode, it is myself and 2 of my friends from Twitch, 2 longtime friends, Tumbledore and Lynn. They are great human peoples who I got to sit down to talk about Santa Claus. That's right, WWE in 1995, the same show where the Hogpen match happened, debuted a evil Santa Claus. So it is a lot of fun. We end up watching his debut segment and the only match he's ever been in. So we've watched that. We discuss a shit ton of stuff. We talk about just what else Santa Claus would do and more bizarro anti-holiday people. So that's a lot of fun. Please check that out next week. Please, if you have not already, get your stuff bought for the people in your life, or let them know that you love them. You don't necessarily have to buy them things to let them know you love them. Take care of yourself. It is there's a whole new variant out there that people are freaking out about because they said it's from Africa, and it's like, well, it's from a specific part. Like, it's a specific part of Africa that is very much like the rest of the world in terms of being of pale complexion it came from. So don't freak out too much, and you have to deal with family members saying dumb shit. You're in my thoughts going into these holiday season. Be safe, be mindful, and happy holidays to you and yours. Joyous Grummas, we're going to be over there continuing our 23 days of Grummas. We've got movie nights, we've got stream caroling, we've got streams. I got a baking stream. When you're listening to this on the live one, it's probably on the VODs. Me, myself, and my grandmother baking cookies. I do that every year. So that is the goal, is to do that again this year and bake some cookies. So if you want to go see that VOD when you're listening to this, or if you're listening to this on the Patreon, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, you will know about it already. So you'll be able to go watch it. December, it's either Thursday or Friday. So that would be December 9th or 10th. There we go. I remembered it as the calendar was coming up. 9th or 10th is going to be one of those days. We're going to schedule for the 9th. This way, if she's not feeling too hot on Thursday, Friday, she's hopefully feeling better. It gives us a little bit more room, more runway to land the plane. But yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. Again, go support OXL and Youngist. This is Cash, who supports Youngist other podcast, Running Back the Hits, with fellow Dorkside guest Saturday Lee. Good times on both those podcasts. I would not have them if I did not consider them fun, entertaining people, and friends. That is the most important part about it, right? Friends. Let's see. Anything else? I don't got much else. Support.grumm.tv is a Patreon. You get this early. You get every episode early, a week early. You get every 2 weeks, you get a new piece of Dorkside content at a Llama Club Elite. If you're at the elite of the elite tier, which is the $25 tier, you get a whole episode just for you and people in your tier. What they're going to be, I'm thinking I might just watch whole pay-per-view events and just laugh at them. Like, there's some really bad pay-per-view events, like December to Dismember. There's a bunch of the 2000 WCW ones that are pretty bad. In Your House, the early In Your Houses are bad. A lot of bad wrestling, right? That's what we're going to be watching. We're just watching TV shows that are, episodes that are bad episodes. So we'll be watching that. The only other thing I have for you this week is to be good to yourselves. You deserve good thoughts about yourself. And if they got to come from you, they better come from you. You understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? You better be thinking good of yourself. You're a great person. You're a great human being. You're a great friend. Don't be too hard on yourself, all right? You're doing just fine. You're going where you need to go as fast as you need to get there. Breathe. Relax. I love you. Next week, myself, Tumble, and Lynn having a good old time talking about Santa Claus here on the Dork Side of the Ring. And thank you for stopping in and listening to this week's episode of the Dork Side of the Ring. I will see you guys next week. I am Grumm. Thank you for stepping in and listening to my tales here in the Dork Side of the Ring podcast.